brother Tim and I have been working in the comic book industry on different spectrums for a number of years. Tim definitely has a style and a perspective of his own, and my style and perspective is also going to be very unique. And we're going to talk about those today, but we're going to try to talk about some important points that helps any artist and creator to create what we call black comics, black heroes, black characters. And for me in particular, I know also for Tim, a lot of it has to do with believability as you create. Many creators of any race, creed, or color can create any type of character anywhere. Doesn't matter, right? Just like a writer. A writer can write any story about anyone, anytime, any place, right? But what makes, many times, black artists creating black characters. Uh-oh.
I'm ready. You ready?
You ready?
What's your name?
My name's Celeste.
What?
Celeste.
Celeste. Hey, Celeste. I've done a portrait of Celeste. We're ready.
You ready?
Okay? All right. No. Keep going. I can do better.
Yeah, back to the program.
I can do better.
Just aspects many times that comes from insight into the culture that we're able to add to characters, add to also stories, obviously, but just likenesses also, right? Many times when you see characters, you'll say, oh, well, you know, the face looks right, it looks believable, it looks like somebody I could see in my household or community, but the hair is a little bit off, right? Or the vice versa. The hair looks great, but who's that face? You know, and why does their nose look like an upside down 7? You know what I mean? That is often something that we try to combat in our classes. So this afternoon, we're definitely going to be banning the L7 noses. Anybody ban the L7 noses? Ban the L7 noses. What does that mean? That means for all of our friends and all of our family that love manga, that swear and praise to the altar of manga, you may be insulted to that. You may be a little bit insulted to that. Because we like round noses. You ready for the next one? Here we go.
Hey!
Bam!
Or. Keep going.
Okay, here we go. Filibuster. And so, last year on my taxes,
Yo, man, we spoke about this. Leave that part out.
All right. But yeah, so Tim is a great illustrator, comic book illustrator, artist, animator. I come from the field of more purely into comics, where I can work on graphic novels, I can work on character design, things like that. Once we get the prompts up, I'm going to be able to show you some of my work. Tim's going to be able to show some of his professional work over the years.
Keep going. I got you.
Yeah, no problem. And we're going to be able to show you just like a cross section of how we can go about it, because there's no one way to draw anything, right? For example, let's look at the work of someone like Aaron Douglas versus Jacob Lawrence, right? Both are very prominent in the art field. Both are very prominent in reproducing the images of African people. They don't necessarily look alike, but they're very, very much,
Okay, keep going.
They're very much identifiable as African people, despite the different styles, right? So what I think we're going to try to do is we're going to see if we can load this up. Is this?
We might have, I don't know what's going on, because I don't know if they have a laptop or anything down here. So
Oh.
Yeah, I have something, but hang on. Can it be accessed to an iPad?
Well, I see iPads and things up here.
Okay.
But we'll see what's happening.
All right. So while Akin is doing that, I'm almost finished here. And what I'm going to do is show you guys the next stage of this, and I will give you all the first lesson to take from all of these shenanigans going on here. So hang on a second. So we go that. All right, now, let me just set this down here before it falls on the floor. And by the way, the reason why we were asking you to come is we wanted help holding the stuff up. Anyway, so check it out. Right? Okay, my style. Very well. All right, we're going to put this up here because that's my style. And Akeem, as soon as I finish this, you can go on with your next thing, all right? All right, now, the next one here. What style? No. Yes.
Realistic style.
This is realistic. Thank you. We're going to call it realistic. What will we call this one here?
Ultra realistic.
Okay, fine. What else? Your style. What?
Ultra realistic.
Okay, fine. I like that. Thank you. Ultra real. The same space. All right, now, here's the deal. I assume, how many parents do we have here by show of hands? This is good. How many parents of young children do we have? How many people in here would aspire to do their own graphic novel? Raise your hands. Even if you are not an artist, you are an author, would like to write a book that an artist draws. Raise your hands. Okay, so here's the deal. What is the most successful comic book on the planet?
Spider-Man.
No. No. You know, an argument could be said that the Bible and other books like it, or other tales like it, are actually the source of a lot of comics. You have a hero, you have a lot of murder and all that other stuff, but we won't get into that part, right? What we're getting into now is style, right? How many people here have read Dogman? Captain Underpants, right? Those are extremely successful books, but there's also another one that's even more successful. It sold over 600 million copies. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Right? Now, there are a lot of people here today, their thing is Spider-Man. I heard you guys over here. Spider-Man! Spider-Man! No, Spider-Man is not the most successful comic going today. It is one of the most successful movie franchises, but not necessarily the most successful comic. The most successful comic looks like that. Which means, let me do this, and then I'll hand it over to you, sir. All right, let's see somebody with great eyesight here, right there. Definitely, this is, oh yes, it definitely is. I'm going to circle something. I want you to tell me what it is. What is that? What? Eye. That's an eye. You're correct. And what is that? Thank you. And of course, you got this one here, the ultra real. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. What is this here?
Glasses.
It's an eye. Yes, but they cover the eye. So we're going to say eye. All right, so here's the deal. The style that you draw in is immaterial. If Captain Underpants and Diary of a Wimpy Kid are the most successful comics on planet Earth, right? What that means is that the style you draw in is not important. It's whether or not the audience understands what you're doing. They need to be able to understand that this is what? And this is? And this is? What comics is the last thing I'll say to this, and I'll hand it over. Unlike our pros, brothers, and sisters out there, comic book artists create stories utilizing the dance between the image and the word. And it's very complex to do, but you have to understand the language. With that, I'm going to hand it over to my brother.
So, in addition to what Brother Tim has been talking about, what I also like to add to the conversation is not only phenotype or structure of nose, mouth, eyes, ears, those kind of things, but also cultural awareness. I think that's incredibly important, right? How many cartoons have we ever watched and seen that adds the cultural flavor that you might see of a given person walking down the street, regardless? very little, right? They're coming close in this past decade with the locks, right? Right? But we don't see the what? We don't see the cornrows. Back in the day it was Jerry Curl, right? Remember that? That was Jerry Curl. That was a stopgap for everything. Jerry Curl was what? Was it, right? Jerry Curl, right? But in later years, some animators, artists said, you know what? Maybe we can make the locks. What are they? Like little hot dogs?
So hair is important. Go for it.
Yeah. So when we're talking about something like that, right? Let's just make something rudimentary. Let's just say that's going to be our cartoon character, right? Do it kind of like Brother Tim was doing it, right? Let's just say it's kind of peanut style, right? That would be the average white kid, right? So once they said, you know what? We can make some black characters on it. What would happen? They start doing this. Right? Uh-oh! We done seen him down the street, huh? Right? Then they start doing this. Uh-oh! We know this, brother. Then the latest thing has been, either lots or what do you call that? Hair. Yes, but it's not an afro. It's not twist. It's not crinkle. What do you call that,
That's
black
called,
people?
I know what that is.
What's that called?
That's called a frayed fro.
That's called a frayed fro. You afraid to
Fro.
do what?
But no, frayed, like it's frayed. Not
Oh,
afraid.
not a frayed.
Afraid.
Afraid.
Ah.
Okay. Last thing you might see is something like this, right?
Yeah.
Now that's not, clap it up if you think that's good. If you think that's good, okay. Wow, like, but this is common. This is common. This is very popular amongst black, white, any kind of artist that's making a black character, you'll often see this, right? Because it kind of goes off of that, Charles Schultz kind of moving into another mode of art, right? But that's not bad. That's not bad, right? What I think is definitely missing is some of, let's go back. Even if we did that character, right? What would make this character more believably an African character, a black character, than those aspects that we just saw? I'll just pick the eyes right there. What do you think? Crowd participation, what do you think?
Nose.
What would help?
Nose.
What was wrong with the nose before?
It was indistinct.
I got a round nose.
It was indistinct.
It was indistinct?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? What do you think? What was missing?
An actual hairline?
An actual hairline, you get that shape up. Yeah. Well, let's go back to the nose really quick. What was missing? Nostrils. Let's go. What I always tell students is very simple. 1, 2, 3. Now again, this is still like a cartoony style, simple style of Tim was talking about, right? Very simple, right? The mouth, I didn't have a problem with. You had a problem with the mouth before? Raise your hand. You had a problem with the mouth? Was it okay? Had a problem with the mouth? What was the problem with it?
Huh?
You had a problem with the mouth? What was the problem with it before?
Too big, too small.
Too big and too small?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How should we handle it?
Use the nose.
Use the nose?
Use the nose to figure out your size.
Oh, I get you. You're saying like you like it there.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah, that should be cut off right there. Gotcha. They need to make this work right there and there. Right? Really quick. Okay. This is just very simple, very simple. All right. What do you guys think about that hair from before? What was wrong with it? Everything was wrong with the hair. What is very common, right? What should we do about the hair? What we should do? This is our Kwanzaa moment. This is our Ujima moment. This is our Kuchishakalia and Ujama, right? And Coons all together. What do you think? What do you think should we do with the hair?
Texture.
A hairline, texture and a hairline together? All right. So if we had a hairline, right? What should we do about the texture? What do you think? That was bad before? That was terrible, right? What should we do? What should we do? What should we do?
Choose the hairstyle.
Choose the hairstyle. All right. So what do we like? What do we like? Baldies? Baldies, then he's done. Right? Because typically when you're talking about locks, you'll see stuff like this nowadays. Right? You'll see that. Look at
texture in here. Let's put some texture in these lines, right? Let's add some detail. See, that's the one thing
That's called rendering.
that we have to be able to put into our work, right? Because when you're looking at other cultures and they're creating themselves, we think it's so simple that they make stringy hair, they made an L nose. Yeah, they made an L7 nose, they do this, they do that, right? And then when it comes to us, we say we got to add more detail. We have to get to change a little bit of that thinking, that perspective. We don't have to add something. We have to do what's correct for us, right? So when they're drawing us, they're thinking is they have to add because that's not their norm. Our norm has to be this. You know what I mean? Our norm can't be straight hair, straight nose. Oh, we gotta change it because I'm drawing my cousin. You know, you know what I mean? So we have to go back to our foundation, correct that, right? Rework that, rewire that, and allow this type of detail that we're talking, they call it detail, and make this the foundation of our work. And then anything outside of that, oh, we have to change it. And change the nose because we're making George Washington. That has to become our thinking, not the other way around. You know what I mean? And that's where we begin to see where some of the decolonization of our drawing pad has to begin. Does that make sense?
All right.
Yes.
So, this is interesting because we thought it was going to be a bunch of kids.
Yes.
But what we've got is a bunch of adults. Excuse me, Mom. Oh, okay.
We're all kids at heart. We
So
like cartoons.
shield your eyes, shield your eyes.
Kids at heart.
So for the first time since I've been here, I'm actually going to show a little bit from an adult graphic novel. Right? I did a graphic novel with HarperCollins a few years ago. And utilizing the philosophy of what Akinseye is saying, I can apply that to the visual. So for example, this is me here. Let me go through this here. And I'll show you how I drew things.
That's when you could fly.
I'm almost 59 years old, no more flying.
That's right.
All right. So, this is the type of stuff that I do. Why? While I love Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and I love Dog Man, I want to do stories with people that look like you. Yes, you. And you. I want the men to look like you. I want you to believe, I want you to buy into the story. You guys are grown adults. You all know what it's like to live in this country, in this land, right? I want you to read things and see things where it is not always pretty. Right? Now, that's the one thing I have to say about prose, guys. You guys can write something, but no one actually has to see it. Right? To draw, to show something, is a much more difficult act. That's why people have lost their mind over sinners, right? Because we're one of the first, when you see Michael B. Jordan, got the muscle, I don't have it like that, but he's pop, 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 pop. Everybody freaked out because how many people have wanted to see a black man mow down a bunch of Klansmen? That was supposed to be a horrible part of the story, but everybody was saying, right? Do you understand? So when you're doing black comics, what you're doing is employing the visual and the written, and you're merging it together with the rule of race. That is not always easy. Much easier to read it than to see it. Got it? All right. Now, also, so I'll go through this. I wanted to do a story. I was talking with one of our mutual friends, Stacy Robinson. He said, Tim, why do you have to put all that detail in there? Why do you have to do that? I said, because black people of color, deserve epic stories. Yeah. Why is it just Conan you gotta have something, right? From the Celtic thing, why can't we do something like that? Or African American, or Caribbean American, or Caribbean, or Bayesian. Why can't it be of the entire diaspora? And that's what I want to do, and that is what I do. Now you might say, oh Lord, there's this man hauling huge bags of cotton. Why is that there? I was born in Tupelo, Mississippi, but I was raised in Clarksville, Mississippi. There were no vampires down there, though, I might add. But I was raised in Clarksdale. So I wanted to be able to take that graphic imagery and fuse it together. Do we understand? It's about taking the familiar, merging it with the speculative. I'm a practicing Afrofuturist. I've been a practicing Afrofuturist since I was 14 years old. So a long time. And you see, it's made me the wealthiest man on the planet.
There we go.
Not good. But anyway, let's keep going. So I'm going to show you guys, this story here is about an African king who is cursed with the gift of immortality. And you can find that book upstairs in the Schomburg bookstore. But, that was supposed to be a joke, but you're like, really? Yes. But he is a man who does something horrible to a woman. He is cursed with immortality. And he is forced to live his entire life over billions of years, seeing societies rise and fall, seeing those who he loves be born, decay, and go to waste. This is how I did it, utilizing the philosophy of what Akinseye is saying. You start with a sketch, right? Let me see if I can zoom into this here. There we go. Got it? So that sketch is not unlike these sketches that I just did, right? Then you add more detail. It's called refining. You're refining the drawing. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you simplify it into line work. Right? Then you add tone on top of it. You see how the tone is, the shadows on the side of the face and the light? From there, we add hue, color. But at this point, it's flat. Now, everyone look around at each other here. Look around at each other. You will notice everyone here has a glint of light on the side of their head, maybe on their eye. That is what's called photographic phenomena, a physical phenomenon that comes from existing in this environment. I then add that to it. See what I did? And then I place it within the background. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be finished. And as long as I go and I pour my heart into what I'm doing, and you guys understand that I have sacrificed myself to produce this work for you. No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. I gotta ease up on that because I almost died 2 months ago. But that's another story. Just say blood clots are not good. All right, now I'm gonna hand it over to Akeen in just a moment. So this here, so you see that image, right?
Whoa.
That image starts from this image.
Wow.
You see? And by the way, if Dog Man sells, I could have released a book like that. So with that, I'm gonna hand it over to Akeen to say this last thing. Well, this will be one thing I'll say after. Just get your work done. Nobody cares about how perfect you are. They just want it done. They want to read it. Got it? All right, over here. We're gonna do this right. I do not have a USB port. Are you online? Can you speak? Okay, hold on. Keep talking. I got you. Are we going to Google Drive?
Yeah, let's see if we're going to Google Drive really quick, folks. Yeah, so,
New York Public Library, go ahead. Okay, how about 100 years for the Schomburg? That's crazy, isn't it? Wow. All right, so now we're going to go to Google Drive. I'm sorry, my eyes are horrible here. We're going to go here to Drive, and I'm going to log out of my account, and we're going to hand it over to my brother here. Let's see. Come on, Internet. Come on. There we go. We got something there. All right, we got it. Let's see. We want Drive. Where's Drive? Okay, they changed their interface here. Or I can go to TikTok. Yes, I can. Now, here's the thing. We're going to ask you guys, you might say, what is he doing? So, type your, because I follow a king. Go ahead, go for it. So, while he's pulling it up, I'm going to say this. How many people got their cell phone? Pull your cell phone out. Now, what I'm doing now, I've never done before in a large audience. superhero. So if you go to TikTok and everyone sees that camera, you can zoom into that. Please follow Akin on TikTok, right? And what about Instagram?
Instagram is Koya Comics.
Koya, spell that for us.
Sokoya.
All right, so please follow him. Please follow him. Now for me, I'm simple. Diesel Funk. That's it. DIESELFUNK. Follow Diesel Funk on Twitter. It's not that many people go to Twitter anymore. Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok. It's all Diesel Funk. Of course, on Twitch, I couldn't get Diesel Funk Studio, but it's close, right? All right. Now check this out. Look what this brother has done.
Is that coming up?
Yes, it is. You gotta see that, right?
Yeah. So,
Take it away, sir.
Yeah, no problem. So, maybe about a year and a half ago, I made a challenge for myself to be able to draw as many what I call African superheroes as possible. So what that means is that I couldn't just draw one character with a red cape, one character with a blue cape, and start thinking about different things like themes, not just powers, backgrounds, hairstyles, all the kind of details that you guys were talking about, right? Now, as many cartoons as we see today, right? And as many shows as there are today, there's always usually that one black character kind of like in the background representing our culture, right? And they all usually wind up looking the same. My idea and my mission was to show creative people and audiences, young people and old people, that our people deserve like our own pantheon of characters, you know, from the beginning to the end. You know, fire powers to water powers, earth powers to someone who might be a business tycoon, or someone that might be religious or whatever. So I'm not going to show you, I'm going to stop talking and show you a couple of my quick videos really quickly here, to kind of give you an idea of some of the things that I've created. You guys will tell me what you got.
Excuse me, this brother says he's gonna stop talking. Do you know how long he's been working on this stuff? Look at this. How many portraits have you done over the last year or two?
Yeah.
Oh, he's dancing.
No, I'm sorry. No.
He got this out.
Did you guys hear that? Yeah. So a part of my philosophy is that African superheroes have to be super even without the superpowers, right? Just because they're African people, that it makes them superheroes, right? So just in the mere fact that there's a young black woman, African woman that has glasses on, hair pulled back, funky hairstyle, nice blazer, right? That's a superhero, right? How many people have ever watched Smallville before, right? You fell in love with Superman and Clark Kent because he had a red t-shirt on. He was a white kid, black hair, on a farm, and you were just in love with this whole story, right? We have to have that same fervor, that same feeling for our people. When you see a black kid in the street with a t-shirt, fall in love with him as you would fall in love with Clark Kent. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, so here we go. Let's see if we can do this.
Now, while he's doing that, let me speak a little bit on Brother Akin. Akin, his books are on sale right now outside. Which vendor, which booth is it?
I don't know what number it is, but we're in front of
He's
we're
across
from the YMCA.
He's across the street from the YMCA. His books are there, right? So part of what I would challenge you guys to do is when you leave, you see this beautiful artwork. I mean, this stuff is so much cleaner than mine. All my people like, molds and stuff on it. All this stuff.
You put like a character in your work.
Thank you for saying that.
But
these folks have fantastic skincare regimes, you know. But for my characters, they don't do any of that. But look how beautiful this stuff is. Look how beautiful this stuff is. And it's made by a brother. He's been doing it for years. On top of that, not only does he draw comics, I'm sorry I had to bust you like this, brother. On top, not only does he draw comics, he also teaches comics. He also goes through the process of showing how he puts those ideas together. Now, imagine if you could buy a product done by this man. Well, just so happens you can, right outside, about 50 yards up the street. Got it?
go back.
Oh no, that's one of my buddies there. All right,
Yeah,
go ahead,
yeah.
I'll retire.
All right, let me show you this one.
Oh, we have about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna do one last thing. Good. Keep going. I'm gonna end it after the all right, go for it.
So what you see again is a great variety, as much as I think is possible right now, of types of heroes, types of characters with different powers. As you see, some of the characters definitely delve deep into African culture. Some don't necessarily have to, right? You might see a character that might be more aquatic looking. You know, you might see a character that might be more rhinoceros or whatever looking, right? And the thing that's going to be interesting for us as we create characters is not so much of making like a black Superman or making a character that has fire coming out of their hands or head and saying, oh, that's been done before. That's not the perspective. The perspective is, what do black and African people say about fire that makes this character different, right? Because when you see Superman, you see a character that's super strength and they fly. That's a Western perspective of someone flying and someone that has strength. What do our African philosophers say about strength? That's what our superheroes should look like. Imbue them with our philosophy, with our belief system, with our experience. And that's what's going to make a difference, because there's nothing new under the sun. Everybody's going to fly. Everybody's going to have laser vision. Everybody's going to have long hair. But how are our characters unique, right? And it only can be unique when you become real and honest with yourself. Not trying to be different, but just honest with yourself. And then that's where the beauty's going to come. And I'll end it with that.
So I'm going to say this to segue off of what Akeem just said. So a few years ago, I was doing a children's book, a middle grade graphic novel. I'm still working on it. Now check it out. It's called Brother Robot. Giant robot, twin siblings, a boy and a girl, whose sibling is this giant robot, and they live in this idealized future, right? This is not like Infinite with lots of blood and guts. This is for families, right? And I showed this to a very prominent graphic novel. I won't say his name out of respect. And I said, yo, man, I need you to take a look at this and tell me what you think of it, right? He looked through it, and you know what he said? Oh, it looks good, but you got to tone down the ethnic stuff.
The what?
Ethnic stuff. I'm sorry. You want me to say it louder?
Yeah,
You tone down the ethnic stuff. Yes.
You know, when I'm watching this, the first thing I think of is collecting.
Okay, so all right.
This EFT thing going on, the collective.
Perfect.
You know, so the ethnic stuff, for me, the ethnic stuff is what makes it collective.
So we make everything we do. We make everything we do bigger than it was supposed to be, right? We take supposedly nothing and we make something out of it. That's what we've always. Guess what? We're doing it right now.
Yeah.
We're doing it right now as we speak, especially now, right? That's what everything that's going on is because we do dope stuff all the time. So when he said that to me, I'm like, oh my God, ooh, because I want to be able to eat. But there's some things a little bit bigger than food, right? Because I want to do a middle grade graphic novel. How many people love to see their kids in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th read something where the families are attacked, where they can have adventures, right? There can be spaceships and giant robots. They want to see that. How many would people, by a show of hands, would like their kids and their grandkids to see
Let's
this?
see that, yes.
So our job is to do that. Now, y'all want me to show you a little bit of that? Let me show you a little bit of it. I'm gonna see if it maybe, and tell me if I need to tone down the ethnic stuff.
Not at all.
You know, you could have been right. Anyway, so let's go here. Oh man, I didn't bring my reading glasses. All right, here we go. See, that's the problem. You can also start getting, no. Let's see. Oh, there it is. So check it out. All right, let's go PDF. Yeah, here we go. I ain't trying to do anything super duper different. I just want people that look like little mini-me's like of everybody in here. Can't they have robotic arms? Do you mind? Do you mind if they have robotic arms? Can't they be like around plants with like real weird computer graphics around them, right? But they can still be in school, but we call it New Banana Middle School. Why not? Or if you know, maybe that's a little bit too African, we call it New Brooklyn School. How about that? Can we do that? I told you that, but see what I'm saying? I'm not even trying to go crazy with the detail. I'm trying to pull back, just as Brother Akeem says. And I just want to show our kids have fun and have adventures. Would y'all be okay with that? Is that all right? But here's the problem. Very often you can't do this type of thing without centering whiteness. It's an unfortunate reality of being a comic book artist, a sequential creator in this world. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So I've already said to myself, you know, I gotta get through the books right now. I'm adapting W.B. Du Bois' science fiction story of the comic graphic novel. I'll be done by the end of the year. I had some delays because I had a few health issues, but we're back. But I want to do, look isn't that robot cute? He cute, right? He cute. And I just want to do it for us. I have 3 kids all over in their 20s. All my kids are adults, right? Very soon, probably within the next 5 to 6 years, there's probably going to be a clone of me running around, a grandchild, right? I don't want them to go through what I went through, right? I don't want them to go through what I went through. I want them to see the world as we want it to be. Do we understand? Yeah. All right, now, we got 2 minutes. I'm going to do this last thing. Akeem, say your last words. And I'm going to show while that's put up, I'm going to put up 1 or 2 images from the comic, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so it would be great to get a little bit more Q&A from you guys. You guys jump over and get your questions. Hopefully we'll be able to do that after this program. But yeah, you can definitely follow me at www.sokoya. I should have wrote my flyers down, but I'll find you guys later on. We can get it up. .com. But the quickest thing is definitely you can go to Sequoia Comics on Instagram, or you can go to Akinseye Art. We'll put that up here. You write them up here for you guys. And that's one thing we get. Any of this stuff informative today for you all? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
So here's an image from the comic. The main character is by the name of Jim. This is what I was utilizing using technology. Give it to the end of the year. It'll be out next year. Final thing from me, and I always say it in front of every audience I'm in front of. Finishing. Finishing is everything. Finishing means letting go of the perfect. Yeah. Finishing means embracing the art of completion. When you finish, you activate opportunity. You can't get to the fruit of anything until something is finished. Got it? Thank you so much.
Wait a minute, since the last workshop was a little long,
Okay.
let's get like 2 or 3 minutes.
Sure.
Any quick question?
Q&A.
Quick. No.
You teach classes and stuff, like is that online?
Yes, I'm actually from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I am a middle school teacher, art teacher. I don't teach gym. But yeah, I do provide online classes. He said schedule.
Do you support it?
Yeah, just contact me and we can talk about like what schedules are available. I do have 2 students right now. There was a lot more a little bit before, but I'm down to 2 students because the summer is coming, but we'll see what's going on. Yes.
What are you doing right now? Reading class.
Ooh. For me, believe it or not, I've been getting this gonna sound crazy. I've been getting into this podcast named Brendan K. You might say, what in the world does that have to do with this? It's because apparently there's a science to doing podcasts. Why am I interested in that? Because buying comic books from comic book shops is almost gone now.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to get graphic novels from Barnes & Noble. So what we as creators have to do is begin to become proficient on doing podcasts and doing our online series. So I've been engaged in doing a project called, there's a company called Books beautiful, it has life to it, right? So that is what we've already figured out the production process digitally. Now we're trying to figure out the distribution process, and the way to do that is through audience. We need as many people to follow Akin and me. I'm just at Diesel Funk. At Diesel Funk, that's it. Not complicated, right?
Spread the word.
Spread the word, because there's going to come a time real soon within the next 5 to 6 months, right? Well, I'm going to have a new book out. My books are, that's one thing it's infinitum, an Afrofuturist tale for adults, not for kids. Don't buy this for the kids. The Graphic History of Hip Hop, which came out last year, Volume 1's I'm working on Volume 2. And then Maddie's Rocky, which I'm working on Volume 2 now. If you don't get it from here, they have it in the Schomburg, I think upstairs. I think it's up here. And it's also in the Centennial.
So for me, my book is, I'm revisiting a book I read before, Journey of the Songhai People. Anybody familiar? Okay, yeah. Tyler Robinson and his brother, yeah. So Dr. Robinson, this is a brilliant, brilliant book. I read it maybe when I was coming out of college. I went to Cooper Union here, graduated 1991. Yeah, as soon as I came out of college, I was definitely looking for more cultural information. And so I ran across this book. I drank every piece of information in it, and I began to create the characters and the world building that I wanted for my comic books and things like that. Not too long after that, I created a book called How to Draw African Superheroes. Volumes 1 and 2. Unfortunately, they are out of print. I'm about to print some more this summer, so keep up with me and you can find out how you can get more. And yeah, they're my bestseller right now because it takes you through a step-by-step process of doing what me and Tim have been talking about this past 45 minutes and more so to get a little bit more into cultural identity. What does it look like to make someone from Zaire? Not necessarily the phenotype, but actually the cultural designs and clothing, traditional clothing. Because one thing that people always get wrong when they kind of draw us, we like to mix things, right? So we're not only going to wear a blazer, but if we're from Ghana, you might see a little gold here and there. You know what I mean? But people won't understand it. They might say that's gangster gold. No, that points back to a tradition that has a meaning that only someone who has a sensitivity about African culture can make sense out of. You can't just put it on top like you put butter on bread and say, here you go, this is dinner. You know what I mean? We gotta do something with it.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
okay. I want to ask some of it. Y'all saw what he just did? That was entertaining, wasn't it? And informative. If he was doing that on a camera, and he was drawing in real time, and there was a link up there to buy his book, would you buy it?
It's coming this
That's
summer.
what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do.
Put your contact information on one of these charts.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I had
No, that's cool.
All right. Are we done? Is that it?
Yep.
I have a question.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
that's a question. Please, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm a graduate of the Art Institute of Pittsburgh.
Oh, awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. What's the difference? You know, we had to do everything by hand.
Yeah.
So what's the difference from then to now? Because I saw that you are doing computerized
Yeah.
art. Explain how the process has now changed from when we had to hand draw to now where you could do it on a computer. Do you think it's more effective creatively?
Okay. Very, very good question. So, since we're all adults here, except for one, couple years, I'm going to speak as truthfully as I can. You'll like the first part, but the second part you probably won't like, but I'm going to say it anyway. So the first part, drawing on the computer put me in the hospital. Because the human body is not meant to sit down in front of a screen for 12 hours a day rendering pixels. It's not. It can't do it. Trust me, I know. Let them insert what's called an A-line into your art. Then you'll get how much you're not supposed to do that. That was very painful. I'm sorry, I was having a flashback there a second ago. But anyway, don't sit at your table for 12 hours a day drawing on paper or in the computer. You gotta work out, you gotta lose weight. Look at this brother. This brother's in fantastic shape. Come on, stop. So, computers are a different technology than analog. It's no different than people using analog technology to record music and then moving to digital audio. One can debate about whether or not the songcraft is better or worse, but the output is effectively the same. Yeah, analog sounds warmer, but digital never goes out of key. It's always on key. So there are advantages and disadvantages, right? However, for me, a lot of the work I did, I went digital back in 1998. A long time ago. I had hair back then. And I started drawing in Photoshop, or what was called at the time Fractal Painter. Now it's called Corel Painter, but I use Clip Studio Paint. It's drawing in the computer, and it's tiring and it's laborious. But then around 2000, 2001, I began to work in the video game industry. I worked for Ubisoft Entertainment, and I learned how to do 3D modeling. Right? I could build objects in the computer like Jurassic Park. Found out if you take a still of that and you output, you can do what's called paint over. So whenever you're seeing The Last of Us and all of that, those are not actual buildings. They are rough assemblies of buildings, and then people are literally painting on top or taking photos, superimposing those with images. It's been done for 30 years. But then I found out you can take a game engine. How many people have heard of Unreal Engine? Yeah, guess what? The comic takes place in New York City. I'm gonna draw all them damn buildings, man. So I got a dude who knows how to model, because I can do it, but my ego is gone now. I don't have it like that anymore. I said, look, man, I think $750 to assemble New York City 1920. He said, okay, he did it. Now I can maneuver a camera in real time in the game engine, get the angle I want, output it, do my paint, because you still gotta paint. Still got to paint. Now, here's the part you're not gonna like. Years ago, for thousands of years, man and woman survived with the horse. And they rode for thousands of years riding a horse. Then sometime in the 1900s, someone created an engine. And they figured out, you know what, man, you stick some wheels to this thing, we can get a locomotion with it. Well, let's put it on a track. And then something, man, I'm tired of this track. It's really tiresome. Can't we just be able to turn the wheels and stay off the track? Then they created an automobile. And within 70 to 80 years, horses were gone. You can still do it at Central Park, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They were gone. Because technology, it just replaces everything. It does. AI. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But y'all need me to tell you the truth, right? It's not going anywhere. I am incredibly bored by people who just write in text to use AI. I think it's lazy, right? Why can't we put it in the hospital? So if I can put my drawing into a piece of software, it adds the rendering and keeps what I would have to do over a 10-hour period and does it in 20 seconds, please, I like to live. Do y'all mind? But here's the thing, that's just one step.